romper, I'll be using this lovely yellow Yarn Art Adore Anti-Acrylic DK size 3 yarn. It's 100 grams and you're going to need about 1.5 of this. So you're going to start off by making a slip knot. And we are going to chain 15 inches. We are starting from the waist of the romper. So I have my 15 inches here. I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Now we are going to chain 2. We are going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch all around, and that's our round 1. So continue making 1 double crochet all around and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of my round 1 and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. The 2 chains do not count as a stitch. Just always start your rounds with 2 chains. So you're going to start with a chain 2 and we are going to make a front post double crochet. Yarn over and we are going to make a back post double crochet. Yarn over, make a front post double crochet, and make a back post double crochet. So this is going to be a repeat for round 2. So this is how it looks like. You're going to repeat this pattern to the end and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm almost at the end of my round 2 and then you slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. So we're going to chain 2 to start round 3 and we are going to repeat the same pattern. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So repeat this pattern again all the way to the end. You are at the end of your round 3. You slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet, chain 2 and you're going to make 1 double crochet all around for round 4. So continue making 1 double crochet out to the end of round 4 and I'll meet you at the end. We are now at the end of round 4. Let's make our last double crochet and then slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. So you're going to repeat round 4 till you get a measurement of 3 inches from the waist. I have my 3 inches here. I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. So mark your stitch with a stitch marker and turn your work to the side. So these are going to be the sides of the romper. You're going to measure 1.5 inches from the stitch marker. Then you mark that with another stitch marker. And you're going to mark the other end and count the number of stitches that gave you the 1.5 inches. And you're going to count the same number of stitches on the other end as well. So you mark that also with a stitch marker. And this is going to be the front of our romper, the bottom of the romper. Now you turn your work around, and this is going to be the back side of the bottom part of the romper. So we are going to start with the back side, and then we are going to chain 2 to start off. We're going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch till we get to the other side with the stitch marker. I'm now at the other stitch marker. I'm going to finish making my last double crochet. So this is how it should be looking like. Now for the next round, you're going to chain 2, turn your work. You're going to make a decrease here. And that's a double crochet decrease. I'm going to make another double crochet decrease. So we have 2 double crochet decreases. You are now going to make 1 double crochet across till we get to the last 4 stitches on the other side. So we are at the last 4 stitches. Make a double crochet decrease. So we are done with row 2. For row 3, we are going to chain 2, turn our work, and make 1 double crochet all to the end. I'm now at the end of row 3, and to start row 4, we are going to chain 2, turn our work. We are going to make a decrease here. We're going to make 1 double crochet decrease. We are going to make another double crochet decrease. So we have 2 double crochet decreases at the corners. We are now going to make 1 double crochet till we are left with 4 stitches till the end. So I'm at my last 4 stitches. So I'm going to make 2 double crochet decreases at the corners. So row 4 is done, and we are going to start with row 5. Start with a chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to make 1 double crochet all across row 5. So continue making 1 double crochet, and I'll meet you at the end of row 5. So I'm at the end of row 5, finishing off last double crochet. I'm going to chain 2 to start row 6. Turn your work. We are going to make 1 double crochet decrease, and a second double crochet decrease. We are going to make 1 double crochet till we get to the last 4 stitches. So at the last 4 stitches, I'm going to make 2 double crochet decreases. To start with row 7, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, you're going to make 1 double crochet, and another double crochet decrease, and you're going to make 1 double crochet to get the last 4 stitches. So at the last 4 stitches, I'm going to finish by making 2 double crochet decreases. We are going to chain 2, turn your work, and make 1 double crochet across all to the end. So continue making 1 double crochet to the end, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of row 8, which is our last row. I'm going to finish off my last double crochet. Chain 1, and then cut off your yarn. Cut it long enough so that you can use it to weave in the bottom part. So now the back side of the romper is done. We are going to start with the front side. So we're going to start by inserting a hook into the stitch where the first stitch marker is. Grab a yarn. I'm going to make a knot to secure it to the stitch. Insert the hook and chain 2. And we are going to make 1 double crochet from this point to the second stitch marker. So I'm at the second stitch marker. Complete my row 1. To start off row 2, we are going to chain 2, turn your work, And we are going to make 2 double crochet decreases at the corners. So first double crochet decrease, second double crochet decrease, you're going to make 1 double crochet till you get to the last 4 stitches. So we are at the end of row 2 and we are going to make double crochet decreases, to start row 3 you're going to chain 2, turn our work, make 1 double crochet all across. To continue making 1 double crochet to the end of row 3 and I'll meet you at the end. So you're going to repeat row 3 until you get a measurement of 6 inches from the waist for the front part of the romper. So I'm on the last row. To start with the ruffled edges of the bottom part, I'm going to make 3 double crochets into each stitch all around the edging. When you get to the edge, you're going to make 1 single crochet all across. So you're going to make 1 single crochet all across to the end of the bottom part. And then you're going to start making your 3 double crochets into each stitch all around the edges again. So at the end, we are going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1, cut it long enough because you are going to use the tails to sew the bottom edges together. Turn your work inside out and join the 2 edges of the bottom part of the romper. And use your yarn needle to sew the 2 bottom parts together. So when you're done, you cut off your yarn and then you turn your work right side out. Make sure that you weave in all your ends. And we are now going to start with the top part of the romper. So we are going to mark each of the corners of the romper. The top part of the romper, we are going to mark each side of it. We are going to measure 1 inch from each corner. You are going to ensure that your stitches are in multiples of 3 for the top part of the romper. If it's not, you adjust where your stitch markers are until you are sure that you have multiples of 3. I've already inserted my yarn, but I'm going to show you how to insert your yarn. To start off with row 1 of the top part of the romper. So you're going to turn your work to face towards you. So you're going to insert your hook. Grab your yarn, make a knot to secure your yarn. Insert your hook to start row 1. You're going to chain 2 to start. And you're going to make 1 double crochet across till we get to the end of the stitch marker. So on my last stitch, I'm going to complete row 1, chain 2, turn your work. For row 2, you are going to make 1 double crochet into the first stitch. You are going to skip the next stitch and make a double crochet into the third stitch. And we are going to yarn over, cross over to the stitch we skipped and make 1 double crochet into it. This is going to give you a cross effect. I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over, skip the next stitch, make 1 double crochet into the next, yarn over, cross over to the stitch you just skipped and make 1 double crochet. So you are going to make this repeat till we get to the end of row 2. That's how the stitches look like. So you're going to continue this pattern till the end of row 2. So if you counted your stitches well, you're going to end on 1 double crochet at the end of row 2. And row 1 and row 2 are going to be a repeat till we get a measurement of 5.5 inches for the top part of the romper. So we're going to repeat row 1 and row 2. Row 3, we chain 2, we turn our work. We are going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch till the end. The chain 2 stitch does not count as a double crochet. So I'm at the end of row 3. Row 3 is the same as row 1. So we're going to start row 4. We are going to chain 2. And we are going to repeat row 2 for row 4. So row 1 and row 2 are repeats till we get a measurement of 5.5 inches for the top part of the romper. So I'm done with the top part of my romper. You're going to chain 1, turn your work. We are going to make 1 single crochet all across the edging to finish it off nicely. Once you finish the edging, we are going to start with the straps of the romper. Going to chain 2, turn your work. We are going to make 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. You're going to chain 2, turn your work. You're going to make 1 double crochet across. I'm going to chain 2 again. We are going to repeat row 2 till you get a measurement of 10 inches for the straps. First strap is done. You're going to chain 1 and cut off your yarn long enough so that you can weave it in. We are going to start with the second strap. So insert your hook, grab your yarn, make a knot to secure the yarn. Insert your hook, chain 2. You're going to repeat the same thing that you did for the first strap. For the second strap, you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. To start off your second strap. Second strap is done. Make sure that you weave in all your ends. We are now going to work on our side ruffles. We are going to insert our hook, grab our yarn, make a knot to secure the yarn, insert your hook, chain 2. We are going to make 3 double crochets into each stitch on the sides of the romper. And this is how your sides will look like. So we're going to leave 2 inches of the strap so that we can attach that to the buttons. Chain 1 and cut off our yarn. We are going to repeat the same thing for the other side of the romper as well. Three double crochets into each stitch on the side of the romper. Our straps and sides are now done. We are going to start with the ruffles on the lower side of the romper. So our first ruffle is going to be right under the front post back post double crochet we did, which is going to act like the waistband. So you're going to grab the stitch at the top, the first stitch. So you're going to insert our hook, grab our yarn, make a knot to secure the yarn. Insert your hook, chain 2. You're going to make 3 double crochets into each stitch for round 1. So you're going to continue making 3 double crochets into each stitch all around, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm on my last double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. So to start off round 2, we are going to chain 2. We are going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch all around. We are going to repeat that for round 3 as well. So I'm at the end of round 2. I'm going to finish off my last stitches, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet to finish off my round. And I'm going to repeat round 2 for round 3, and then we are done with the first tier ruffle. I'm at the end of round 3. I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, and cut off my yarn. And we are going to repeat this for the second tier ruffle and the third tier ruffle. But before that, I'm going to sew on my buttons at the back of the romper. So you're going to use your yarn needle to sew on your buttons. You can use any buttons of your choice. Just make sure that it's able to hold the straps and doesn't come off once you secure it. So once that is done, you're going to sew on the second button as well. So now that our buttons are done, we are going to work on the second ruffle layer. We are going to make it 2 rows beneath the first ruffle. So we are going to repeat the same thing we did for the first ruffle. Grab our yarn, make a knot to secure our yarn, insert our hook, chain 2. We are going to make 3 double crochets into each stitch all around. So just as we did for the first tier ruffle, we are going to repeat the same thing for the second tier ruffle. So complete that and I'll meet you at the end. So the second tier ruffle is done and this is how it looks like. We're going to start with our third tier, which is going to be right at the edge of the leg opening. So we are going to insert our hook at the top of the stitches right at the leg opening. We are going to repeat the same thing we did for the first ruffle and the second ruffle. So go ahead and complete that and I'll meet you at the end when your last ruffle is done. So all your 3 ruffles are complete now, and you are going to weave in all your ends to finish off your romper. The romper is now complete. I'm going to turn it over and attach my ribbon. This ribbon is 1 inch wide and 21 inches long. So you're going to use a sewing thread and needle to sew your ribbon together, and you're going to use the same thread and needle to attach it to the romper. Your cute romper is ready, and this makes a beautiful gift as a photo prop. Thank you for watching.